Today's video is based on The Road Less Traveled, written by the world-renowned Harvard-trained psychiatrist Morgan Scott Peck. This book is not only a classic of psychology, but also a compass devoted to spiritual growth, showing how profoundly a person can transform when they dare to confront themselves. But if we all carry the capacity to heal our own souls and psychological wounds, why do so few manage to achieve this transformation? Regardless of the hardships of life, the struggles we face, or the inner blockages that weigh us down, every human being holds within them the potential to rise above and rebuild themselves. Yet for most of us, this potential lies dormant. We suppress our pain, avoid our problems, and confine ourselves to narrow lives. Such a restricted existence does not only bring unhappiness, it also pushes us, often unconsciously, to the edge of mental imbalance. Peck explains this reality with striking simplicity. Life is difficult. Perhaps this is humanity's most fundamental truth. Still, many refuse to accept it. They cling to the belief that life should be easy, and when they encounter challenges, they see them not as natural, but as unfair, even abnormal. Thus, instead of facing problems, they complain, delay, blame others, or pretend the problems don't exist. Yet as Peck emphasizes, life is nothing but a series of problems. And the essential question becomes, do we live to solve them, or do we live to run from them? Wisdom begins with accepting the inevitability of problems. The next step is even more crucial. Recognizing that pain, when experienced fully, has the power to transform. Yes, confronting difficulties hurts, but pain is also a teacher, shaping us into more conscious, resilient, and liberated beings. Unfortunately, instead of embracing pain, we become entangled with avoidance, blaming others, deceiving ourselves, turning to addictions, or distracting ourselves with shallow entertainments. Yet all these paths lead to the same end: deepened suffering and psychological disintegration. From this perspective, Peck offers a profound view of depression. He argues that depression is not simply a disease to be suppressed, but a signal from the soul, an inner alarm telling us something in our life is not aligned. To outsiders, it may look like darkness, but it actually points to the parts of ourselves that demand transformation. When understood and embraced correctly, depression can mark the beginning of authentic growth. But when repressed through medication or avoidance, it becomes pathological. Depression often whispers, "You cannot go on like this. You must change." If we listen, it becomes a powerful call to renewal. Another teaching of pain is this: sometimes we become so weary of suffering that the only option left is to confront its root. At that moment, giving up destructive habits or finally making long-delayed changes becomes easier, because carrying the old burden has become unbearable. As Nietzsche said, if pain pushes us to transform, we should not flee from it but move through it. Growth emerges through the very struggles we endure. Yet what holds us back is not only fear of pain. Laziness, too, is one of the greatest obstacles to spiritual growth. Peck describes laziness as humanity's original sin. It is not merely physical inactivity, but a spiritual inertia. A person may appear hardworking outwardly, going to work, caring for family, fulfilling duties, yet still make no step for the soul. Laziness is the inner resistance that pulls us away from the responsibility required for change. Carl Jung even called laziness humanity's greatest passion, more seductive than power, money, or lust, because it keeps us trapped in the comfort of routine. Mary Louise von Franz posed a sharp question. When someone avoids a problem, should they not first ask, is this truly fear, or is it simply laziness? Nietzsche described laziness as a kind of gravity growing within the soul, pulling everything downward. To resist this dark force, he suggested a joyful struggle, not with heaviness, but with awareness and movement. His words in Thus Spoke Zarathustra echo this spirit. I have learned to walk, now I run. I have learned to fly, now I soar. A God dances within me. This reflects the energy of spiritual awakening that emerges once we free ourselves from inertia. Some may find these ideas too abstract and long for a concrete roadmap. But as Peck underlines, spiritual growth is a personal journey. There is no fixed guide showing every step. Transformation happens only through your own choices and efforts. Others' words may inspire, but walking the path is up to you. There are no ready-made formulas or guaranteed results, only the inner call to rebuild yourself and the response you choose to give. Dear viewers, today we explored the shadows of human nature, the lessons of pain, and the seductive pull of laziness. If this video has stirred something within you, I am glad. Feel free to share your reflections in the comments. Until we meet again in the next video, take care of yourselves. Remember, pain is sometimes the greatest teacher. The road may be difficult, but every step you take is for you. Stay well.